Hey, what's up, Lightbolt Joe here. Today we are going to discuss Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. This came out August 1st, 1986, directed by Tom McLaughlin. So, it's a matter of figuring out the timeline, right? So Friday the 13th that is the day that all of this stuff of Jason, wreaking havoc on, what's the new camp called? Forest Green. They're trying to erase Camp Blood or Camp Crystal Lake. They're calling it Forest Green. Clearly it's irrelevant because it's always going to be Crystal Lake. So it's referenced that it is the day Friday the 13th. So trying to figure out mathematically when is this? If it's the summer and there's a summer camp happening again, but it's called Camp Forest Green, what is the date? So I looked at a calendar. I had to figure it out. It has to be Friday the 13th, August 13th, 1993. That's the only day that this could happen within the parameters of all of this timeline. So if 2, 3, and 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, no, 2, 3, 4 takes place in 1985, then 4 years later, we get a 16-year-old Tommy in 1989, and then 4 years after that would be 93, which means we have a 20-year-old Tommy who just broke out of the institution with his roommate to drive back to Camp Crystal Lake to make sure that Jason's body is buried and good. Now, a lot of people say that Tommy's 18 years old in this movie, but mathematically, if the sheriff is saying today is Friday the 13th and it's the summer, the only three options in that time range would be September 13th, which is in 91, March 13th, which is in 92, and August 13th, which is in 93. August 13th, 93 would be the only summer date. So Tommy has to be 20 years old in this film, breaking out of the institution. And I'm standing by it. The sixth movie takes place in 1993. I have it. I figured it out. Okay. So Tommy and roommate break out of whatever psych institution that they're in, drive back to Crystal Lake to make sure that Jason is dead and buried in his grave. They they dig him out. Tommy's getting flashbacks of him at age 12, stabbing Jason, with the machete again. So he takes a metal rod from a fence and just stabs Jason multiple times to make sure that the rotting wormed corpse is good and dead. So that happens. I'm gonna close my book. And then all of a sudden he keeps the metal rod in the corpse. Lightning strikes the metal rod, reanimates and zombifies and super enhances this Jason that we know and love, who then kills the roommate, puts the roommate in the coffin, and then Tommy is now running to a sheriff to warn the sheriff, hey, Jason's back. So, of course, the sheriff doesn't believe him. The sheriff's daughter's name is Megan, roughly around Tommy's age, and, of course, she's got a crush on him because he's a good-looking guy. And who cares if he killed a serial killer when he was 12 years old? So the sheriff is trying to keep Tommy locked up, but then, of course, there's murders happening around Forest Green, around Crystal Lake. And because there's camp counselors now opening up the new Camp Forest Green, they're getting killed off. Kids actually come for a weekend camp session. No kid is killed, but Jason's threatening the kids. But he's killing mainly the camp counselors. And then there's a whole, work retreat of these paintball enthusiasts that are getting killed. Jason gets a new machete from one of the paintball enthusiasts. Jason gets a new hockey mask with a red triangle on the brow versus the two pointing ones on the top that are red versus the fourth one, which has the two blue ones down here. There's a few different Jason masks. Jason gets this mask from Tommy because Tommy brings a mask to the grave site to make sure that it's all good and buried. Something like that. So this is a unaxed head Jason. We have a full head now. No more mark on the mask. We have the new triangle there for the sixth movie. So then Tommy is trying to team up with Megan to make sure that the sheriff and everybody, can catch Jason, can kill Jason, even though he's a superhuman zombie corpse at this point, which takes place on August 13th, 1993. And so eventually, Tommy gets a chain around Jason's neck attached to a big rock. They both go down into Crystal Lake. They fight. Jason, chokes him. Tommy gets water in him, and he floats up, and he's drowned kind of a thing. But then Megan revives him, and then Jason, in the water, tries to pull Megan down. But then Megan starts the boat engine and smashes it into his head, and all this blood and chunks come up. So Jason's dead, but he's not because his eyes are still open by the end of the movie. So what happens in the seventh movie? I think the seventh I don't remember. I honestly, I don't even remember if it's Jason Goes to Hell or if it's Jason Takes Manhattan. I don't remember what comes next. But this is when the timeline gets wonky. And you can tell, like, kind of at the end of this, it's like, all right, sure. Like, now we're talking about zombie Jason versus, like, an actual deformed Jason. Now we're talking about an actual zombified superhuman strength Jason. So, because he could just rip people's arms off now at this point. Original Jason couldn't do that, but now we got a new Jason. So the Tom and Jarvis story is ended, and then now we go into a next iteration, a next chapter of the 7th film. You know what? I'm just gonna look. I genuinely don't remember with all my notes and stuff. Well, it's because I didn't watch it yet. So Friday the 13th Part 7 is called The New Blood. Part 8 is called Jason Takes Manhattan. Then we have Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday, which is the 9th. Then we have Jason X, which is the 10th. Then we have Freddy vs. Jason, which is the 11th. Then we have Friday the 13th, which came out in 2009, the remake, which is the 12th film in the series, technically. So, the next film we talk about is A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors, because that is the next that comes out. So, Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives, came out August 1st, 1986. A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors came out February 27th, 1987, and then Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood, came out May 13th, 1988. So again, we're just going chronological based off of what came out at what time. I'm just trying to keep all my notes straight. I gotta just get new paper for notes and stuff. I like that I keep them on Post-its. It's kind of refreshing and entertaining. But I'm paying attention. So August 13th, 1993, that is the date that the 6th film takes place. Okay, on to the next review. Mucho mahalo.